everybody, and time once again for another Spartans Report here on TV3. As you can see, Sam Harvey is not with us, but his replacement is a familiar face, athletic director at CHS. And there's a good-looking lady sitting between us. Who is this, Brent?
This is Michelle Harder. She's our new Lady Spartan basketball coach, and we're excited to have her on board.
Michelle, welcome to Connorsville, to TV3, and I know our viewers are happy to meet you for the first time.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, girls basketball starts in November. When?
Well, we have our scrimmage that first weekend of November against Union County, and so we'll be starting over fall break with our practices. So that's coming up here with 6 weeks, getting ready to go. We've had some workouts the last week we started, and so every Tuesday and Thursday we're in the Spartan Bowl working out.
Okay, Spartan Bowl, mentioning that, what do you think of Spartan Bowl?
Well, when Mr. Duncan took me there, I first walked in, it was just amazing. I had not been in there before,
really?
And so that was my first experience in there.
Wonderful.
I'd heard about it, but just had never been in there,
yes,
and I was very impressed. It's a very nice facility.
People, when they first see it, officials and kids from other schools, they're really impressed. They really enjoyed. Okay, the scrimmage is at Union County or at Spartan Bowl?
It's at the Spartan Bowl.
Okay, good. Yeah, and has what, a 1 o'clock start, 12 o'clock?
I believe 12.
It's 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Okay, and that's a Saturday?
Yes.
Okay, and then when the regular season began?
The following week is when we will start up. We can start with our games and get going, and I don't remember the date off the top of my head.
November 2nd, I think.
And who's the opponent?
We open with New Pal.
yeah.
Okay. You're starting right off the bat with a pretty good team, a school well known for its sports.
Yes, well, and it looks like the whole schedule you're looking through. Very good teams that we're playing against, and excited to get going. Okay,
Michelle, what's your experience in coaching?
Well, I've been coaching. This will be my 29th year of coaching. I started at Warsaw and coached the JV team there for 16 years, and then was lucky enough to get the varsity position when it opened up, and was there for 8 at the varsity level, then moved to Evansville Central.
Okay.
I was there for the last 2 years, and wanted to get back closer to home, back to a basketball community, and a place where people enjoy their basketball and they support it. And Connorsville opened up, and I thought, I'll give it a try and see, and luckily enough, I got the opportunity to be here. And
well, if you want a basketball community, you hit the bullseye.
That's what I've heard, and that's, when I was doing my homework and looking, and that's one thing that really appealed to me with the job.
Great fan following, and I think you'll be amazed at what happens in the Bowl this season. I'm
excited to see, the fans come out and get the Lady Spartans rolling and get going this season. And they've been there working hard the last 2 days that we were there, and they're excited to get going, and I'm excited as well.
You had great success at Warsaw. A couple of sectionals, a regional. What class is Warsaw?
Warsaw's 4A.
Okay. Good deal.
So, which Connorsville was 4A, just dropped down to 3A.
Until a couple months ago.
Right. But yeah, Warsaw is a great basketball community as well. So that was something that I was used to.
Sure.
Central's just, it's a little bit bigger area, 5 high schools, so it's a little more difficult
when
you have that many high schools. But it was a good experience for me. But like I said, I was just ready to get back where basketball is something that people want to come out and they want to be a part of it.
Brent, congratulations on bringing a successful girls basketball coach.
Well, we're excited to have her on board,
Yes.
Our girls are looking forward to it, and Coach Harder's working hard to work on our youth program and get those kids involved once we get our feet rolling and hit the ground. And, she kind of got a late start, didn't get here till after school had kind of started, so it's been trying to learn on the fly and get her everything that she needs so that she can have what she needs for the season and preseason stuff. So. And a lot of our girls that are going to try out are also in fall sports, so our numbers aren't as great at the gym, but that's because a lot of them are in extra sports currently, and hopefully they'll be all ready. And we've got some that are on the injured reserve list at this time and can't get out there yet, so we're waiting for them to get released from their doctor. So, but we're excited to have her on board and look forward to what the Lady Spartan basketball program can become again as it used to be consistently. So,
when you put a team together, Michelle, what are your priorities?
Well, you want girls that are going to come out and that are going to work hard, and that are going to be open to having a new coach, and just willing to come out and try. And what I've been telling them at our open gyms and workouts that we've had, it's okay to make mistakes. Practice is where you're going to learn. You need to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. But just coming out, working hard, being dedicated
Yes.
to the program, and you're putting the team first. And those are areas that I really look for. Defense, I love to coach defense, so I'm a defensive-minded type of coach. So really working hard on that defensive end, and fundamentals are another thing that I've really been stressing the last couple days at our workouts.
Offense is easier if you're not playing defense. If you score first and don't have to catch up, that must be a much easier way for a student.
Well, it definitely is, and my philosophy is if you work hard on the defensive end, you can score some easy offensive points for yourself. So if you're down there working hard and you can get turnovers, make the team uncomfortable, use your defense to create some easy offense for you, and it definitely is when you get out there and you get a little bit of a lead, it's easier to play with that lead and relax a little bit more than if you're playing from down.
Sure.
So having your defense create that offense and get those easy points, and if we can fast break and get an easy look, that's what we want to first. If not, then set up the offense and see what we can get from there.
It's so important to disrupt the other team's plan.
Yes, definitely. Right. You don't want them to be comfortable in the offensive end. So, changing up your defenses, making them uncomfortable, and that's what I like to tell the girls is play defense on people the way you don't like defense played on you. Make them uncomfortable, make it difficult for them to get in the rhythm of their offense, and then that's going to create some easy offense for us.
Brent sounds like she knows what she's doing.
Well, I think we have one cut of the same cloth that I think Coach Brown is. Their philosophies are very similar in what they expect from the kids, and I concur with her. As an ex-math guy, offense is a variable. It comes and it goes, and defense is a constant. So it's just a matter of effort and hard work. And I think back to my playing days, my 8th grade coach said, if you guard your guy and they don't score and all 5 of you think that way, they can't beat you. So made a lot of impression upon me as a little 13-year-old about what's the most important part of basketball, and it's not necessarily the offensive end. That's important that we score, but it's much more important that we can keep people from scoring. So I think we have 2 people that are cut of the same cloth in that philosophy, which is great for our program. So,
did you know Coach Brown?
I had met Coach Brown. We both were were assistants with the All-Star team.
Okay,
so
great.
that's when I met him.
Sure.
So I did know him a little bit before I came in.
Well, that's good to know. As a coach, I ask most of you guys, when it comes time to cut some of the team, the kids that have tried out and they aren't selected, how do you approach that? And I know it's a very careful thing to have to do, right?
Well, and that's always the worst thing as a coach is if you have to cut a player, especially when they're there and they're giving it their all. But the biggest thing is just being open and honest with them where they are at that time, and giving them things that they can work on and letting them know that work on these things in the off season, come back ready to go.
To improve.
Come back ready to go next season. And if you work on these things, then there's always that possibility. And I've always also offered, and sometimes kids want to do it, sometimes they don't, to stay on as a manager. So that way you're there listening and you're hearing what's going on, and you can watch what's going on, and you're in there in the gym learning what it is that you need to be doing and seeing the things that we're doing. So that's always something too that I do. But it is difficult. It's always hard. It's like I said, the worst part of coaching when you have to cut a kid.
Brent, how did you handle it?
Well, I didn't have to do it too often, but it's the same thing. But you think back to when we played, you just ran into the locker room and you looked at the list posted on the wall, and it was just praying that your name was on it. But that's kind of not very comforting to the kids who are not on that list. I've seen many of them walk away with a lot of tears in their eyes and no explanation. So it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but just a matter of taking the time to talk with each of them individually. And I don't think there's another way to do it anymore. So
were you ever cut?
Thankfully, no.
How about that?
And my sisters weren't that either. So.
I have not, thankfully.
Okay, that's great. So you haven't really been on the end of that experience.
No.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Well, we're really happy to have you join us, and I know you're looking forward to a wonderful season here at CHS. And
Yeah, I am. I'm excited. We had a great turnout for the girls when we had our call-out meeting, so, looking to trying to get our freshman team going again. We've
Okay.
had our middle schoolers coming into our workouts, so working with them and just building up that program to keep girls excited. You have to start at the young age and get them in there and get them excited about playing and seeing what I'm about since I came in late. It's important for them. Plus, it gives me an opportunity as well to get to know them and work with them so that they know what it is that I'm expecting when they come up to the high school.
What grade were you in when you started playing organized ball?
It was in middle school when I really started
Okay.
getting into it. I think we were playing in PE and I enjoyed it, and that was the first time we could actually be on a team as well. So I went out for the team, and it was just a sport that I excelled at, and I enjoyed just being out there and being around other kids. And that I think that's the biggest part of it is the people that you get to meet when you're doing that. But
Sure.
middle school was my first experience with that, and then going to the camps that we had there. I went to Wawasee High School, so Dale Brannick was my coach, and going to his camps and just getting a little bit of a taste of that.
How does that help a youngster grow up to play sports?
Well, I think that it just helps you in all areas of life, leadership, with your confidence in yourself, being willing to put others first and not just think about yourself, but being that teammate. And I think as well as it helps you be organized. You have to have that time management. You learn from disappointments that, sometimes you're going to try your best and you're going to do everything that you think that you should be doing it, and you might not succeed at that point in time. But just learning to overcome that adversity and what can I do to make myself better and learn from those experiences. So I think that it just helps you all around, not just staying in shape and those types of things, but just becoming a better individual and a leader.
Yes, and a good citizen.
Yes, definitely.
I wanted to ask you, first of all, where did you graduate from? What school?
I went to Wawasee High School, and then I graduated from Huntington University, which was Huntington College back when
Okay.
I was in school there. So,
Back to helping the students, how do you help them balance sports and academics, the classroom work?
well, one thing I've always told them that they are students first.
Yes.
So their academics do come first. So if there's something that you're struggling in, or you have to stay after to make something up, that comes first, and that they need to understand that you can't play athletics if you don't get your academics. And there's a small percentage that can go on to be. You talk about pro sports and things like that, even in college and those types of things.
Sure.
That you have to have your academics. But just talking with them, checking up on their grades, making sure that they're doing the things they need to do to be successful
Right.
in the classroom. And if they need extra time and extra help, trying to help them out with that. Maybe they need to have a tutor, or they need to have some extra time. I've never had to have a study table, but there's always that option too, that if that's something that would be needed to work that in. But just making sure that you stay on top of it. Typically with the girls, I haven't had much of a problem with that, because they typically are, getting their work done, and they're
Sure.
getting out there. And but every now and then, you need to do that, and you need to call them in, and oftentimes they'll listen to their coach before their teachers in the classroom. But just keeping contact with the teachers and making sure that they're doing
Right.
what they need to do in the classroom.
Brett, I know you're very proud of the CHS academics for the kids that play sports.
Oh, absolutely. We talked about it earlier,
Right.
that 70-some% of them have a 3.0 or higher that they carry all year long. So you can always balance your academics with your athletics. And a lot of people don't think they can do that, but our athletes prove time and time again that many of them do that. Like I said, I think earlier I said 40-some% had a 3.5 or higher. And so it's always easy to do. It teaches you how to budget your time, put your priorities in order. And a lot of times you do a lot better in the classroom because you want to play, so you know you have to keep your grades up. So we always encourage people to get involved, whether it's sports or clubs or band or choir
Sure.
or drama. Those kids all tend to seem to have better grades than just the kids who come to school and only come to school. But there are some that only come to school that do a good job as well, so can't throw them all under the bus. So
I know, Michelle, you're glad to hear that, the academics that are achieved here at CHS.
Oh, definitely. I mean, because like I said, it's important that they're getting their academics because, you know, you're not going to be able to play sports for the rest of your
Sure.
life, and you need to have that you know, that drive to succeed in the classroom. And when you succeed in the classroom, it also helps you out on the floor with what it is that you're doing. And
Yes.
one less thing that you have to worry about. You can step out there on the floor and, you know, work off your energy. And if you had a bad day, you know, use that and get out there on the floor and get yourself ready to go. And
A coach is not just a coach, they're a teacher, a counselor, a disciplinarian. You counsel kids, they come to you. I know some kids that play sports look at their coach as an extension of their parents.
yeah, and you know, with coaching, it is so much more than just the X's and O's.
Yes.
You really need to know your team, you know what motivates them. For some of them, you can get on them and you can ride them a little bit more. For others, you need to have a little bit softer touch. And definitely, if you're noticing something on the floor that's not quite right, or if you see them coming in and they're not their typical self, pulling them aside and talking to them. And I think developing relationships and letting them know that you are interested more about them and their life than just what they're doing on the floor for you. So I think that it's really important to develop those relationships and let them know that you are there, and if they need to talk, that your door is always open, and you know, be there to
Yes.
comfort them and help them with anything that they might be struggling with. Because sometimes they just need somebody to listen to them for a little bit, and we all know sometimes you need to vent a little bit, and then
Sure.
you're ready to go. But definitely, you know, relationships are important because it's just not about X's and O's.
And then being a real friend.
Yes.
Yeah. Brett, do you appreciate kids when they come? Do you, as an athletic director, get many kids that would like to talk to you about something other than sports? Maybe some problems at home?
Quite a bit. You know, you'd be surprised what they want to talk to you about. Just their hobbies, just things they've done, things that happen to them over the weekend. So we try to listen as much as we can without meddling. So, you know, sometimes they just want to talk and get things off their chest.
Yes.
And it may not be anything important. They just are excited about something that happened over the weekend that they haven't had a
Yes.
chance to tell anybody. So, and it's always good to see those kids outside of just the sports world, and they're willing to come and talk to you just a little bit. So.
Michelle, have you been on the Spartan Express yet?
I have not. I saw it pull out of the parking lot though the other day, and I was like, "That's a pretty nice looking bus," but I have
Yes.
not had an opportunity to be on it. No, but I'm excited to get that
I know
chance.
you're looking forward to the first away game, I know, right? What do you do in the Fayette County school system? Do you teach at one of the schools?
Yes, I do. I'm at the high school
Okay.
in the special education. I'm teaching there, so
Very
that's
good.
something a little different for me
Sure.
from what I had been doing. I had been a general ed teacher for all the other times, but this is something new for me, and I'm excited to learn something new.
We're really happy to have you on board. We're speaking with Michelle Harder, who is the coach at CHS, the girls Spartan, the Lady Spartans basketball coach, and I think it's going to be a great season coming up. CHS Sports this week, look at the schedule. Monday, the Spartans junior varsity football team is in action at Greensburg on Tuesday.
We had a friend that we added a JV soccer match tonight at 6 at home against Greenfield. So.
Okay, swell. Thanks for telling us. Tuesday, Lady Spartan soccer at Rushville, 5 o'clock start. Boys tennis, CHS courts, Spartans in Centerville at 5. Lady Spartans golf with Hagerstown and Greenfield Central. That's a 5 o'clock start. And coach, that is?
At Greenfield.
Okay.
They're going to tell me exactly what course, but I think it's Red Hawk's Tail, but don't quote me on that one. So.
Okay. Thursday is Spartans volleyball with Greensburg at 5:30 at the CHS gym. Spartans play tennis at Oldenburg Academy at 5 o'clock. On Friday, the Spartans football at Aurora with the South Dearborn Knights, 7 o'clock kickoff on TV3's YouTube channel, localtv3.com. Saturday, Connersville hosts a volleyball invitational, a 9 o'clock start at the CHS gym. Girls soccer at South Dearborn, 11 a.m. start. Girls EIAC tourney, that's a 9 o'clock start at Batesville. We wish the girls well in the tourney. Co-ed cross country meet with Marion and Oak Hill. And Coach, you said that's at?
That's at Indiana Wesleyan University. So
At Marion, right?
it's in Marion, yes.
Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. Boys soccer at 10 a.m. at the CHS field against Rushville. The middle school football Wednesday, Greendale Middle School at Connersville. 7th graders play at 6, followed by the 8th grade teams. That'll be at Spartan Stadium. Volleyball Monday, Rushville St. Mary at Connersville. Tuesday at Franklin County at 5:30. Thursday, the volleyball team, Franklin County at Connersville at 5:30. In cross country, Tuesday at South Decatur, also with Batesville, 5 o'clock start. Swimming and diving, Tuesday, South Dearborn at Connersville, CHS Pool. That starts at 6 o'clock. And Thursday at Sunman Dearborn, that's a 5:30 start. Area team football scores, Cambridge City 1-2 on the season, lost 24-6 to Tri. Centerville is 2-1. They lost their first game of the season to Shenandoah 20-6. Union County 0-3, lost 52-7 to Knightstown. Richmond 1-2, lost to Indianapolis Tech 54-7. Rushville 0-3, lost to Franklin County 3-0, 53-20. The Spartans 0-3, lost to Greensburg 2-1, 42-0. Those last two games were played Saturday at Lucas Oil Stadium as part of the Southeastern Showdown. The other two games, South Dearborn defeated Batesville 37-7, and Lawrenceburg won over Milan 42-14. Coach, the Spartans have struggled on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it's been a little slower start than we were hoping for. There's been some moments where we've looked really, really good, but it's just the sustaining what we started with and not getting a penalty or having a turnover that seems to thwart a lot of things, or we give up a long play on defense. So it's just kind of trying to get everything put together and keep moving forward. And you know, our younger kids, we have 25 freshmen playing. They're one-on-one so far, playing 2 JV teams. So they're going to get a chance to play tonight at Greensburg, another JV game tonight. And then, of course, we have South Dearborn next week, so we'll actually get to play our freshmen against a freshman team. So we'll see where we stack up with that freshman class. But we're trying to do a better job of keeping them together, letting them play at the freshman level to the freshman C team level instead of coming up against the 18 and 19-year-olds at the varsity level when they're 13 and 14. There's a definite size disadvantage. So trying to help build those numbers and keep them out so in the next couple of years we can continue to grow our numbers at that level and hopefully have some success as we come down the future here.
South Dearborn 3-4 years ago were struggling quite a bit, but now they've turned their program around somewhat and they're playing good football.
Yeah, and they kind of did the same thing. They took their lumps at the high school level and just kept all their younger kids together and didn't move them up to play against the older kids. So hopefully that'll pan out for us in the next couple of years where we're trying to follow the same type of pattern to rebuild that. You know, it's been a struggle in football at Connersville for 50 years. It's not just but we're looking to make it better, and hopefully we'll continue to get a bit more kids out and let it grow. And to win, it takes numbers, and to get numbers, you got to win. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. So
that's true.
Hopefully with this younger kid, we can have success at the freshman level, and then they'll keep them all together as much as we can as a JV group next year, and try to build on that success and bring in some new 8th graders that'll be freshmen next year and try to continue that. So
yeah, once you get a winning tradition, kids want to play. They want to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. We always have kids wanting to play basketball right now. We don't always have kids that want to play everything else. So the goal is to make everybody in the same boat. So
we have a clip from the action at Lucas Oil on Saturday, and let's look at it right now. Coach, you might talk a little bit about that. What's happening?
Well, it was an interesting day. I think our kids, the 2 or 3 that I talked to this morning, and we're excited about being able to play on the field. And we started out really well, and then we just had a bad penalty late in the first drive, and we kind of stalled out. And we kind of stopped them on the second drive, and we had I'll use my own opinion, was a bad call, but had a pass interference that continued their drive, which when you watched it on the replay, didn't appear to be any pass interference at all. So sometimes, though, when you make your breaks, when you're going well, things go for you, and when you're not playing well, things don't go for your way as often as you need to. So hopefully we'll get all that turned around. But the kids I talked to today were thrilled about the opportunity of being able to play there. And of course, we started out the game, so there was a little more hiccups with us, with certain people didn't think we were supposed to do certain things, and then I look at the next game, they're doing what we were supposed to be doing in the first game. But we kind of got the whammy put to us on a couple of things I thought were supposed to happen. So, but it was a learning experience, and I think it was good for our kids to get an opportunity to play in there.
Was it a success financially?
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know if it was the final results. That'll all go through the athletic director at South Dearborn, who kind of spearheaded it all. So I haven't heard the final numbers from him yet. So whether it's a success or not, I don't know. I think it's a success for our kids to have the opportunity to be there. I can't always say that everything we do is a money success,
Sure.
but just to give them the opportunity. Last time I think we played inside was when the Hoosier Dome was still in effect. And you can imagine that's in the early 90s and the late 80s when we used to play East Central in the Hoosier Dome. So
Yes.
before East Central was as big as they are today. So
Did anyone donate the $35,000 to open the roof?
the roof was not open, but the window was open on the north end. So I don't know if they just did that on their own or not, but it definitely helped it cool it down in there just a little bit.
You guys being a present coach and an ex-coach, if I said most important 6 inches in sports is the 6 inches between the ears. Do you agree?
I would have to agree, yes, definitely.
6 inches being your ears and what's sitting in your chest.
Well, it's been great to have you here, Michelle, and I wish you a great winning season and many more to follow.
Thank you. Like I said, I'm excited to be here, ready to get going and get the season started and get the girls out there. And like I said, they've been working hard, so we'll continue with that.
So all you're going to ask is for a youngster to play smart, play hard, play up to their ability, possibly above that. That's about all you can ask for, and what happens, happens.
Right. Yep. They prepare out there on practice. They step on the floor and they give it their all. That's what you want them to do. You want them to step out there, know that when they finish, they've been out there, they gave it their all, they did their best, and that's all you can ask at that point in time.
Yes, sure. Coach, what about assistants? Her assistant coach will be?
Well, we had one on board who unfortunately had to step out because of her job, so we're looking for a varsity assistant, and we're talking to a young lady that's played in college and is now teaching in our school system, but she's working on her master's, so we're in talks with her to try to get her on board. Laura Igney, which used to be Laura Richards, is going to be a volunteer assistant. Rick Brown will still be on as our freshman coach.
Okay.
We have a couple people we're talking to about our JV. We thought we only had to hire a JV coach, but in the last week we now have to get a JV and a varsity assistant still. So middle school we're working on. We've made some changes at the middle school level, and hopefully that'll be a good plus for us in the long run. And you know, we have a lot of younger girls that's been out playing and traveling, so the little girls have probably played a lot more than some of our middle-aged girls, so hopefully that'll build well for us in the future. And I know Michelle did a good job building the program like Carrie did with the boys to make it a consistent year in and year out thing. And once you establish your system, the kids who are there have bought in and are willing to do what you need to have done. So,
Michelle, how far into the grades do you go? How far down do you go that you want organized ball to be played?
Well, I mean, the earlier the better. At Warsaw, we started a league where we had with elementary, and we went down to 3rd and 4th grade.
Okay.
And the earlier you can get them going, get the
Sure.
ball in their hand, and get them excited about what it is that you're doing, the better. And with camps, I've gone down, 2nd grade, and then had some first graders
Okay.
that wanted to come in. And so, those are things. If there are kids that want to come in and they want to be there, then you want to work with them and you want to keep them excited
Sure.
because the
Right.
earlier you can get to them, the better. So, that 3rd, 4th grade level definitely is something that if you can get in there and you can get them playing a little bit and just learn, some of
The
the fundamentals,
fundamentals.
right, and just getting out there and enjoying it, that's just going to help the program.
Right. I think they have a great program, especially in middle school, that plays quite a schedule.
They do, and that's something, we're going to continue to work on and build and continue to get the younger kids excited and playing and get them out there on the floor because, like I said, the sooner you can get them out there and get them going and working on those fundamentals, it's just going to help the high school program because they learn what it is that
Sure.
they need to do to be successful at the higher level.
How many girls will we have on your varsity squad?
Well, it just depends on the numbers. We had a great turnout for our call-out. We had 30 girls that showed up.
Wonderful.
And 12 of those were freshmen, so hoping, this year that we can have that freshman team. But anywhere from 10 to 12, is kind of what you look at that level with the varsity.
Michelle, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Everybody, thanks for watching the Spartan Sports Report.